I have a Mercedes turbo diesel here that's got a rather violent shake at idle. And I know from the emails I received, this is very common, a frustration that people deal with. They say, I just can't get my diesel to idle smoothly. Maybe they start it up and it idles smoothly, but then when it gets hot, it starts shaking, or when they get off the freeway, it's shaking. So because of this, I'm going to do a video series on trying to solve a diesel engine shaking problems. And this is primarily shaking at idle, okay, where the car just goes, nah, 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 nah. And we'll go through this and we'll talk about a number of different causes and the parts that you'll need to fix the problem. Now in this case, this car has had a lot of work done to it, and the owner is very frustrated. It's a low mileage, remanufactured engine, probably got 100 to 120,000 miles on it. The compression has tested okay, because really, if you have a shaking diesel, that's one of the first things you want to do is adjust the valves on these older models that have adjustable valves, and then do a compression test. Because if your compression is unequal or you have a weak cylinder, you can throw all kinds of money at the problem and you're never going to fix the shake. You may just have to live with it, short of overhauling the engine. But in this case, we know the health, the camshaft is good, the timing chain is right, the compression checks all out between 360 and 400 pounds. So we're going to go after this problem. Now, first want to have you hear it, and maybe we'll even try to demonstrate just how this shake is happening on this engine. Then I'll come back and we'll talk about what's next, okay? You know, I'm laughing because I hope it shakes. Sometimes when you do this, it's kind of like working on an engine. You know, we're going to start this up and it's going to run perfectly smooth, and then we're going to have to cancel this video. But I'm going to go ahead, start this engine up, and see if in this scene with the video and the sound that you can pick up what the owner is experiencing every morning when he starts this engine. Okay, see how much it's shaking? Look at it, it's pulsating like this. Once again, you know, it's got new motor mounts. The engine doesn't sound bad, but it's got that pulsation, just like that. And it's really shaking. If you put your hand here, you can kind of feel it shake like that. Now let's just race it up to see how the engine sounds. Once it comes off idle, that's a healthy OM617 engine once it comes off idle. But once again, you can see it's really shaking here. So we're going to have to, you know, try to find out what this problem is. Well, I think you saw from that scene that this is a problem. It's an irritant. In fact, the owner says, oh, some mornings I get a really good massage, you know. And so what we're going to do is we're going to throw it out there and ask if any of you can kind of determine what this problem might be, all right? And number one, it's not the motor mounts. He's already changed the motor mount. So that's not the problem on this particular one. But that can be a problem. A lot of these old diesels that shake and particularly make noise. One of the things that you can tell when the motor mounts are bad is that it'll make clunking sounds when the engine shuts down, because the mounts are sometimes hitting metal on metal. The rubber's gone, okay? So give it your best guess. Kind of, maybe some of you have dealt with this kind of problem before, and it's not something real obvious. Maybe share what you found was wrong with your own old Mercedes diesel engine. And we're going to come back and kind of troubleshoot this together. Now, the first thing we're going to do, the owner thinks it's an injection pump, by the way. And I've had this a lot. People say, oh, I needed a new injection pump. Well, in all the years I've worked on Mercedes diesels, I've only changed 2 injection pumps. These injection pumps are very robust, and they'll go thousands and thousands of miles, but they're also very expensive and difficult to change. So don't run out and just, oh, it's got to be the injection pump. You know, narrow it down. There's some things we're going to do here because we're going to find out. We're going to really narrow this down, do some things that aren't so difficult, and then if it is an injection pump, at least we're going to know it before we start tearing it off the engine. So the very first thing we're going to do this afternoon, and then we'll come back tomorrow and report in if there's any difference. We're going to change the fuel injectors. I have a known set of good fuel injectors. Now, we're not even going to bother testing these on the bench or anything. We're just going to replace the fuel injectors today and not do anything else. And then he's going to drive it for a day and see what happens, and we'll report back on those findings and find out whether those fuel injectors made any difference at all.